Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to dive deep into a topic that has intrigued many of us. Awakening through suffering. Is this the main path of the chosen ones? This is a question that many people on a spiritual journey have likely asked themselves at some point. We all know that life comes with its fair share of pain and hardships, but does suffering play a pivotal role in the spiritual awakening process for those who feel they have a special mission in life? Could it be that suffering is, in fact, an essential tool for us to step into our higher selves? Or is there another path that doesn't require such intense trials? In this video, we will unpack this profound question together. We'll examine whether suffering is truly the key that unlocks the door to spiritual awakening, or if there are alternative routes to enlightenment that don't necessarily require pain. For many of us, the idea of suffering as a vehicle for growth is something we've heard repeatedly, whether it's through ancient spiritual texts, personal stories, or popular wisdom. But the real question is, does suffering need to be the main way we awaken to our true purpose? Or is it simply one of many paths we might take? It's a topic worth exploring, especially for those who believe they are here for something greater, something more significant than the average life. Now let's think about this for a moment. Suffering is, undeniably, an inevitable part of the human experience. It's something we all go through at different points in our lives. Whether it's through loss, failure, or challenging circumstances, suffering is something that shapes who we are, pushes us to grow, and often forces us to rethink our understanding of the world and ourselves. But when we talk about spiritual awakening, can suffering truly be the catalyst that opens up a new dimension of understanding? Could it be that this discomfort and pain are the very things that allow us to step out of the limitations of the material world and see the world through the lens of higher consciousness? It's easy to think of suffering as a burden that we'd rather avoid. After all, who wants to experience pain or hardship? But in spiritual circles, suffering is sometimes described as a tool, a guide, or even a teacher that helps us to look deeper within ourselves and find something greater than what we initially believed was possible. It's in the moments of deep suffering that we often face our darkest fears, confront the deepest truths about who we are, and begin to awaken to the deeper meaning of our existence. But here's the big question. Is suffering the only path to awakening? Can there be a way to transcend pain without experiencing it in such a raw, intense manner? Can we awaken without the darkness? Can the journey to spiritual enlightenment be smoother and filled with grace? Or is pain a necessary step for growth? That's what we're going to find out together. We'll explore various perspectives on this, examine stories from people who have awakened through suffering, and look at the other potential ways one might reach spiritual enlightenment. As we journey through this topic, you'll also see that there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The path to awakening is personal and unique for each individual. What works for one person might not be the best path for someone else. So let's explore the different possibilities together and see where they lead us. But before we dive into this fascinating exploration, I want to ask for a small favor from you. If you find this video helpful or thought-provoking, please take a moment to hit the like button. This simple action helps the video reach more people who may be asking the same questions you are. It's a small way of spreading knowledge and sharing this journey with others who might benefit from it. And don't forget to share it with someone you know who might be going through difficult times and could use a fresh perspective on their path to awakening. Lastly, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel. By subscribing, you'll be part of this amazing community, and you won't miss out on any future content about spiritual growth, awakening, and topics that can help you align with your true purpose. I'm excited to have you on this journey with me, and I look forward to diving into this topic with you now. Let's get started and explore the truth behind awakening through suffering, whether it is the only path for the chosen ones, or if there is more to the story. Suffering is something most people try to avoid, yet it is an inevitable part of the human experience. It is something that we all face in various forms throughout our lives, whether through physical pain, emotional distress, or spiritual turmoil. However, what if we reframe our understanding of suffering? What if, instead of seeing it solely as something negative, we begin to view it as a powerful tool for awakening, a process that can lead to profound personal transformation? Many spiritual teachings around the world suggest that suffering is not just something we endure passively, but something that actively shapes us and guides us on our path to self-realization. Suffering forces us to confront the limits of our being and to examine our deepest fears, insecurities, and desires. It forces us to go beyond the surface-level concerns of daily life and face what is often hidden beneath the surface of our consciousness. In doing so, suffering becomes a catalyst for profound change, one that pushes us to look within and uncover truths about ourselves and the world around us that we may have previously ignored or overlooked. When we experience pain, loss, or failure, we are often thrust into a state of vulnerability. It's in these moments of vulnerability that we begin to strip away the facades we've built up over the years, the illusions of control and security that we've relied upon to navigate through life. These experiences make us confront reality in ways that we might have previously avoided. When we face suffering, we are often forced to ask ourselves difficult questions about who we are, what we truly value, and what kind of life we want to lead. These are the questions that awaken us to our deeper self, to a version of us that may have been dormant for years, perhaps even lifetimes. Take, for example, individuals who have gone through major life challenges, such as a serious illness, the loss of a loved one, or a significant failure in their career. These are all examples of events that bring suffering into our lives in different ways. Yet for many of these individuals, it is precisely through these experiences that they uncover valuable lessons about themselves. Consider someone who has battled a life-threatening illness. At first, they may feel overwhelmed, powerless, and afraid. The diagnosis might feel like the end of the world, and they may initially be consumed by fear, frustration, and anger. However, as they endure the physical and emotional pain of their illness, they may come to a realization that their previous life, focused on achievement, success, and external validation, wasn't fulfilling. They may realize that in the face of mortality, the things they thought were important don't hold the same weight. In this vulnerable state, they might turn inward and reconnect with their true self, with their soul's purpose. They may discover a deeper sense of compassion for themselves and others, and begin to value the things that truly matter, such as love, connection, and inner peace. Similarly, when someone loses a loved one, they are often forced to confront the impermanence of life. The death of someone close can trigger a profound existential crisis, as the person grapples with the reality that everything in life is temporary. Initially, this experience can feel unbearable. The grief can be overwhelming, and the emotional pain may seem endless. Yet in time, many people find that through this suffering, they awaken to a deeper understanding of life and death. They may come to realize that death is not an end, but a transition, and that the love and connection they shared with the deceased will live on. This realization can bring peace and a newfound appreciation for life, encouraging them to live more fully in the present moment. The same transformative process can occur after career failures. A person who has worked tirelessly to build a career might suddenly find themselves at a crossroads, either laid off, passed over for a promotion, or experiencing burnout. At first, this failure might seem like a devastating blow, shaking their sense of identity and self-worth. However, as they work through the pain of failure, they may uncover new opportunities for growth. This suffering often forces them to reevaluate their priorities and values. They may realize that their sense of self was too wrapped up in their professional success, and that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external achievements. This realization can lead them to seek out new passions or callings that are more aligned with their true self, transforming what seemed like a setback into an opportunity for spiritual growth. These examples illustrate how suffering is not merely a passive experience, but an active force that pushes us to wake up to the deeper aspects of life. In each case, suffering forces the individual to let go of the illusions they had about themselves and their lives, and in doing so, they begin to reconnect with their true essence. This is the essence of awakening, a shift in consciousness that leads to a deeper understanding of life and our place in the world. Suffering also teaches us an important lesson about the nature of attachment. We often hold on to things, people, material possessions, titles, or status, because we believe they provide security and happiness. But suffering has a way of showing us that these external sources of comfort are ultimately impermanent and unreliable. When we experience loss or hardship, we are forced to confront the fact that nothing in life is permanent. Our loved ones, our possessions, and even our own bodies will eventually fade away. This realization can be painful, but it is also liberating. It teaches us to let go of our attachment to the temporary things of this world and to seek a deeper, more lasting source of peace and fulfillment. At a deeper level, suffering helps us to understand the impermanence of life and the interconnectedness of all things. When we go through painful experiences, we often realize that we are not isolated beings, but part of a larger, interconnected whole. We see that everyone experiences suffering in some form, and that we are all bound by the same human condition. This awareness can lead to greater empathy and compassion for others. We begin to understand that we are all in this together, and our shared experiences of suffering can help us build stronger, more supportive connections with those around us. The meaning of suffering in the awakening process is clear. It is through pain and loss that we are forced to confront the truth of who we are and what we truly need. It strips away the distractions and illusions of everyday life and reveals the deeper aspects of our soul. It pushes us to question our beliefs, our values, and our sense of self. And through this process, we can experience profound transformation. Suffering helps us realize that what we've been seeking externally cannot satisfy the deeper needs of our soul. For example, material success, external validation, or fleeting pleasures may provide temporary relief, but they do not fulfill the deeper longing for peace, love, and purpose that lies within us. Through suffering, we awaken to the truth that lasting fulfillment comes from within, from aligning with our true self and connecting with the deeper aspects of existence. This realization allows us to let go of unnecessary burdens, whether they are material attachments, negative thought patterns, or outdated beliefs, and find the inner peace that we've been searching for all along. In conclusion, suffering is not merely something to endure, it is a powerful tool for awakening. It is through our pain, loss, and failure that we begin to understand the deeper truths of existence and awaken to our true purpose. While suffering is never easy, it is an essential part of the human experience and a crucial step on the path to spiritual awakening. Through suffering, we find clarity, purpose, and a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. And it is in this awakening that we discover our true power and our ability to create a life of peace, love, and fulfillment. While suffering is often portrayed as a necessary path to spiritual awakening, it is not the only path. Many people experience profound awakening without the intense pain or hardship that others may face. The journey of spiritual awakening is deeply personal, and it can unfold in many ways. Suffering may be one of the most transformative catalysts, but there are other experiences that can trigger the same deep awakening within us. In fact, for some, the road to enlightenment is paved with love, gratitude, peace, and profound spiritual experiences that don't require painful trials or tribulations. For many, awakening doesn't need to come through the struggles of life. It doesn't always have to be about enduring the hardships that we so often associate with personal growth. Some individuals find their path to awakening through positive, uplifting experiences that nourish the soul and encourage personal reflection. For instance, many people experience their deepest awakenings not through periods of suffering, but through experiences of unconditional love, compassion, or a deep spiritual connection with the universe. These experiences are just as powerful as suffering in their ability to shift consciousness and open up a person to a higher state of awareness. One of the most striking examples of awakening without suffering is the experience of unconditional love. Love, in its purest form, has the power to expand consciousness and help an individual transcend their limited sense of self. When someone experiences love, whether it's through a romantic relationship, the bond between a parent and child, or the love they feel for humanity, it often ignites something within them. It can awaken feelings of connection, compassion, and understanding that transcend the ego. In the presence of unconditional love, people often feel a deep sense of unity with all living beings, and this realization can be a transformative experience in itself. For example, a person who has been living a life focused on achievement, success, and material gain may suddenly awaken to a new understanding of life when they experience profound love. It could be the love of a partner that opens them up to a more compassionate, selfless way of living, or it could be the unconditional love they feel for a child. This love compels them to reevaluate their priorities and values, shifting their focus from external accomplishments to inner fulfillment and connection. In this case, love serves as the bridge to a higher state of consciousness, guiding the person toward greater self-awareness and spiritual growth. Similarly, compassion can also serve as a path to awakening. Compassion, whether it's directed toward others or toward oneself, has the power to expand consciousness and promote healing. When we feel compassion for others, we connect with their humanity, and this connection often leads to greater empathy and a deeper understanding of life. Compassion allows us to see beyond our own pain and suffering and to recognize that we are all interconnected. It helps us transcend the boundaries of the ego and opens our hearts to the needs of others. Take, for example, someone who has spent most of their life focused on themselves, perhaps driven by a desire for success or recognition. Through a compassionate act, such as volunteering or helping someone in need, they may experience a profound shift in consciousness. The act of giving without expecting anything in return can trigger a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose. The person may begin to realize that true happiness comes not from personal achievement, but from selflessly serving others. In this way, compassion becomes a pathway to awakening, guiding the individual to a deeper understanding of their purpose and their connection to all living beings. Another powerful path to awakening is through meditation and spiritual practices. Meditation, yoga, and other forms of inner reflection have been used for centuries as tools to access higher states of consciousness. Through meditation, individuals can quiet the mind, connect with their inner selves, and tap into a deeper sense of peace and understanding. The stillness that comes with meditation allows us to access the present moment, free from the distractions of the past or future. In this state of mindfulness, individuals can experience a deep sense of clarity and insight, which can lead to a profound spiritual awakening. For some, a single moment of deep meditation can completely shift their perception of reality. They may experience a sense of oneness with the universe, a feeling of being connected to something greater than themselves. This experience often brings with it a deep sense of peace, and the individual may feel that their life has a greater purpose that they had not previously recognized. In this way, meditation and spiritual practices become the path to awakening, allowing the person to transcend the limitations of the ego and connect with their true nature. In addition to meditation, some individuals may find their awakening through spiritual experiences that are beyond the ordinary. These experiences might come in the form of visions, moments of divine inspiration, or encounters with the sacred. For example, someone might experience a moment of profound clarity during a religious ceremony or spiritual retreat, where they feel the presence of a higher power or a deep sense of divine love. These experiences can be life-changing, and they often serve as a powerful catalyst for spiritual growth. In these moments, the person may experience a sense of unity with all of existence, and this realization can shift their perception of themselves and the world around them. These spiritual experiences, while not born out of suffering, can have a transformative effect on the person's consciousness, helping them to awaken to a higher state of awareness. The important thing to understand is that awakening can happen through many different paths. While suffering is one avenue through which spiritual growth occurs, it is by no means the only one. Some individuals are able to learn the lessons of life through gentler means, through love, compassion, meditation, or other positive experiences. These paths to awakening are just as valid and powerful as those that come through suffering. The key is that each person has their own unique journey, and the path to awakening is not the same for everyone. What's significant about this is that awakening does not have to be a painful or traumatic experience. For some, the process of becoming enlightened can be gentle, filled with moments of peace and joy. The key to awakening is not about the method or the path. It is about the shift in consciousness that occurs. Whether it comes through suffering or through love, meditation or compassion, awakening is about stepping into a deeper understanding of who we truly are and our connection to the universe. This realization is freeing because it means that no matter where you are on your journey, you are on the right path. Some people may need to go through suffering in order to wake up to their true self. while others may experience awakening through more positive or peaceful means. What matters is that we are all being guided toward the same truth, that we are all part of a greater whole, and our purpose is to align with that higher consciousness. In conclusion, while suffering is often seen as a necessary path to spiritual awakening, it is by no means the only way to awaken. There are many other paths to enlightenment that do not require pain or hardship. Love, compassion, meditation, and spiritual experiences can all serve as powerful catalysts for awakening, helping us to connect with our true selves and our higher purpose. The most important thing to remember is that each person's path is unique, and the journey to enlightenment can take many different forms. Some may learn through gentler lessons, while others may need to face more difficult challenges to gain a deeper understanding of life. Whatever path we take, the goal remains the same: to awaken to the truth of who we are and to live in alignment with our highest purpose. For those who feel that they are the chosen ones, the concept of suffering takes on a different light. They may sense within themselves a deep calling, a higher purpose that compels them to walk a unique and challenging path. Often these individuals feel a profound connection to something greater than themselves, a mission that is waiting to be fulfilled. They understand that their lives are not just about personal success or pleasure, but about contributing to the collective good, achieving spiritual enlightenment, and helping others along the way. For them, awakening to their true self is a journey that involves much more than just personal growth. It involves realizing their purpose in the grand design of the universe. But the question remains: is suffering an inevitable part of their awakening journey? For many who feel they are the chosen ones, the answer is yes, in a sense. Their awakening is often a complex process that involves facing deep challenges, confronting painful experiences, and ultimately transcending those hardships. The challenges they face may seem overwhelming at times, but it is precisely through these experiences that they discover their inner strength, resilience, and clarity. These difficulties are not mere obstacles, they are opportunities for growth and transformation. They serve as the stepping stones on the path to fulfilling their higher purpose. The path of the chosen ones is not an easy one. While others may experience spiritual growth through positive experiences such as love or meditation, the chosen ones often find their awakening comes through adversity. Their journeys may involve suffering in the form of physical or emotional pain, loss, failure, or profound grief. Yet, it is in the midst of these struggles that they find the deeper meanings of their lives and come to understand their mission. This journey through hardship is not just about enduring pain. It is about using that pain as a gateway to greater self-awareness, spiritual enlightenment, and a sense of purpose. It is through suffering that they unlock the doors to a new level of understanding about the world, themselves, and their place in the universe. Take, for example, individuals who have gone through major personal trials such as a serious illness, a career failure, or the loss of a loved one. These are experiences that many people would describe as some of the hardest and most painful in life. But for those who are on the path of awakening, these hardships often become transformative experiences. A person who has battled a life-threatening illness, for instance, may initially be consumed with fear and despair. The diagnosis may have shattered their sense of security and forced them to confront their own mortality. Yet, as they navigate the physical and emotional pain of illness, they often begin to realize that their previous way of living, focused on superficial goals and material success, was not aligned with their true purpose. The suffering they endure brings them to a place of deep introspection, where they begin to search for deeper meaning in life. The illness becomes not just a challenge to overcome, but a catalyst for their spiritual awakening, helping them to let go of old beliefs and discover a more authentic and purposeful way of living. Similarly, individuals who have faced significant failures or setbacks in their careers often find that their struggles lead to new opportunities. The chosen ones may face rejection, loss of status, or complete professional failure. And at first, these events can feel like devastating blows. But in hindsight, many of these individuals realize that these challenges were precisely what they needed in order to step into their true calling. Failure pushes them to reevaluate their goals, values, and sense of identity. It forces them to confront their deepest fears and insecurities, and in doing so, they emerge stronger and more focused on their higher mission. The chosen ones understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth, but a necessary part of the process. It is through failure that they discover their resilience, their ability to rise from the ashes, and their capacity to keep going, no matter the circumstances. Grief is another powerful catalyst for awakening. The loss of a loved one, whether it be a family member, a close friend, or a mentor, often leads the chosen ones to confront the transient nature of life. Grief is a painful and deeply personal experience, one that forces individuals to face the fragility of life and the impermanence of everything we hold dear. But for many, this loss becomes a turning point on their journey of awakening. It awakens them to the preciousness of life and encourages them to live more fully in the present moment. They may begin to re-examine their relationships, their goals, and the legacy they wish to leave behind. The grief they experience may not go away, but it often transforms them into more compassionate, empathetic, and self-aware individuals who understand the true value of love, connection, and living authentically. The significance of suffering for the chosen ones is immense. For them, suffering is not a punishment or a negative experience to be avoided. It is a necessary part of their process of self-realization and spiritual awakening. The chosen ones understand that the hardships they face are not random or meaningless. They are integral to their spiritual evolution. These challenges serve as the crucible in which they are refined, tested, and ultimately shaped into the individuals they were meant to become. It is through suffering that they learn to transcend their ego, face their fears, and connect with a higher source of wisdom and strength. Suffering teaches them that they are not defined by their circumstances, but by how they respond to them. It is through their responses to suffering that they discover their true power and potential. In the face of hardship, the chosen ones often experience what might be described as a spiritual breakthrough. It is in the depths of their struggles that they find clarity and insight about their true purpose in life. They may come to realize that their suffering was not just an obstacle to overcome, but a gift that allowed them to step into a deeper understanding of who they truly are. The pain they experience leads them to a place of healing and transformation, where they are able to align with their soul's mission. Through suffering, they uncover their deepest desires, their truest calling, and their deepest connection to the divine. For the chosen ones, suffering is not something to fear or avoid. It is a vital part of their journey. They understand that without suffering, there can be no true growth. Without challenges, there can be no transformation. The suffering they endure is the very thing that helps them uncover the truth about themselves and the world around them. It is the catalyst for their spiritual awakening and the key to unlocking their fullest potential. Through suffering, the chosen ones learn to transcend their limited understanding of themselves and embrace their higher calling. They are able to awaken to their true self, step into their power, and fulfill their mission in life. In conclusion, suffering plays a significant role in the awakening journey of the chosen ones. It is through suffering that they discover their inner strength, their true purpose, and their connection to the divine. The challenges they face are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth and transformation. Suffering helps the chosen ones awaken to their true calling, and it is through this process that they realize their potential and align with their higher mission. For them, suffering is not something to be feared or avoided. It is an essential part of their journey towards self-realization and spiritual awakening. And it is through this awakening that they fulfill their purpose and become the powerful, enlightened beings they were meant to be. So today, we've explored 3 important aspects of awakening. First, we discussed how suffering can be a key part of the awakening process. For many, suffering serves as the catalyst that pushes them to confront their limitations, face their fears, and ultimately awaken to their true purpose. While it may be painful at times, suffering has the potential to unlock profound personal transformation and spiritual growth. We also looked at how there are other paths to awakening that do not require suffering. Love, compassion, meditation, and spiritual experiences can all serve as powerful avenues for awakening, offering individuals a more peaceful route to enlightenment. Each person's journey is unique, and the path to awakening can take many different forms. Lastly, we examined how the chosen ones often experience their awakening through challenges. While suffering is part of their process, it's not about enduring pain for pain's sake. It's about using those challenges as opportunities for growth, healing, and self-discovery. Ultimately, suffering is just one path, and not the only one, towards spiritual enlightenment. It's essential to understand that while suffering has its place in the journey, it's not the only way to awaken to a higher truth. The spiritual path is filled with various experiences, some of which are gentle and uplifting, and others that might be more challenging. Awakening can come in many different ways, and it's not a race or a competition. Each person will encounter their own unique set of experiences and challenges that guide them toward their deeper truth. Whether it's through love, meditation, compassion, or even suffering, what matters most is the willingness to open up to the possibility of change, growth, and self-awareness. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about awakening through suffering? Have you ever gone through a difficult experience that led to a spiritual awakening, or brought you closer to your true self? Perhaps there's a story or lesson you've learned that you can share with others. I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences, so feel free to leave a comment below. Let's have a conversation about this powerful topic and explore how our different paths to awakening can help us support each other on this journey. If you found this video insightful and it resonated with you, please don't forget to hit the like button and share it with anyone who might benefit from hearing this message. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on all the upcoming videos where we'll dive into even more powerful and thought-provoking topics about life's journey, spiritual growth, and the path to enlightenment. Thank you for watching, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to be here. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the amazing and transformative power of self-awareness and awakening.